All right. Good evening, family. Good evening, everybody. It is March 3rd, 11:09 p.m. on East Coast. And we're returning to 1971. So tonight's going to be a battle of third place teams in the American League. So the Baltimore Orioles, 8 games behind the Detroit Tigers, and the California Angels, 4.5 back of the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's and Detroit Tigers also have a game going on, and Oakland's starting to feel a little bit of heat here. Just a 2 game lead up on the Chicago White Sox. Detroit, a little bit of a safer margin, 6.5 up on the New York Yankees. So let's get into it, and hope you have fun. Settle in. We'll play some baseball. All right. Hey, JT, not too bad. Looking for a little bit more warm weather here. But yeah, and that's going to start tomorrow. Hope you had a great day yourself, my friend. All right, let's go. And Samuel Smith. Yeah, I have. I think it's Cricket Captain that I have. I think is the one I have. It looks more out of the park baseballish. So yeah, I do have it, Samuel. I just haven't messed with it too much. And JT says can't complain. Excellent. All right, welcome to Anaheim Stadium for this game between the Baltimore Orioles and the California Angels. Mike Cuellar will take the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. 21 starts in the year, and he is 9-8 with an ERA of 3.18. This would be his second start against the Angels, and against them, he is 1-0 with a 2.25 earned run average. And he'll be opposed by Clyde Wright for the Angels. Clyde has made 20 starts in the year, 12 wins, 3 losses, an ERA of 2.31. This will be his second go against Baltimore, and 0-1 against them with a 3.86. 78 degrees here in Anaheim. Wind speed 11 miles per hour in from left field. And let's play some ball.
Play ball.
All right, turn this off. Make sure everything is where it should be, and indeed it is. Let's look at the starting defense here for the California Angels. In left field, Billy Cowan. In center, Ken Berry. And right, Tommy Reynolds. At first base, Jim Spencer. At second, Sandy Alomar. At short, Sid O'Brien. At third, Ken McMullen. Behind the plate is Jerry Moses. On the mound is Clyde Wright. Leading off here for the Baltimore Orioles, Don Buford, 295 average, 11 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Let's get it underway here. 0-2 pitch. Bouncer to second. Alomar to Spencer for out number 1. Well, the developer for the new strategy baseball put out a 1 inning demo. He's talking about a possible, as he still wants to do some more work on the game yet, but he's talking about possibly a demo that would allow you to play a season, so limited to a season. So, but we'll hear more from Crash and what he would like to do, hopefully, when we get him on this weekend, if all works out. So, just playing a little game of it tonight and really having a lot of fun with it. Definitely some more work that needs to be done, but it's really a big improvement. I've just been playing the beta, but I really like what I'm seeing thus far. I mean, if you liked strategy baseball before, you're going to like this one. So there's some really neat additions to it. That's all I can say at this point. All right, here is Paul Blair, 254 average, 2 home runs, 30 runs batted in for the superb Baltimore center fielder. And Clyde Wright deals 1-1 pitch, and this one driven foul, third base side, out of play. Blair back in the box, 1-2 pitch. This one slashed up the middle, and Blair turns on the afterburners and has himself a 1-out double. So Paul Blair, also with 10 steals in the season, stole 14 in the actual 1971. Here's the great Brooks Robinson now. Robinson hitting 264, 11 home runs, and 48 runs batted in. Wright deals 1-1 pitch, hard ground ball. O'Brien looks Blair back to second and fires on to Spencer for the 6-3 putout. So 2 down here in the top of the first. And Frank Robinson steps into the plate now, hitting 310, 16 home runs, 57 runs batted in. Frank would hit 28 in 1971. And the pitch from right, 2-1. And this one, just a good hopper there to third, but close played first. They do just nip Robinson by a step. So no runs, one hit, no errors. We played a half inning here in California. The Orioles nothing, and the Angels coming to bat. Starting defense for the Baltimore Orioles in left field, Don Buford. In center, Paul Blair. In right, Merv Rettenman. At first base, Frank Robinson. At second, Davey Johnson. At short, Mark Belanger. At third, Brooks Robinson. Behind the plate, Andy Etchebarren. And on the mound, Mike Cuellar. Leading it off here, Sandy Alomar. Alomar hitting .260 with 30 runs batted in. Lefty Cuellar deals, 2-0 pitch. This one tapped down the third base line. Robinson with a strong throw, and they get Alomar by half a step. So one away for California brings up Ken Berry, .253 average for him, 2 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Cuellar brings it home, 1-2 pitch, and big cut and a miss on a screwball there. And that'll be out number 2. Ken McMullen now, hot corner man for the California Angels. .251 average, 15 home runs, 50 runs batted in, would hit 21 home runs in the actual 1971 season. 1-2 pitch, and soft liner. Belanger pulls it down for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no error. One complete here in California, and we are scoreless. Davey Johnson, Merv Rettenman, and Andy Etchebarren due up. Davey Johnson hitting .279, 14 home runs, 62 runs batted in. So by season's end in the row 1971, Davey Johnson with 18 round trippers. All right, southpaw Glenn Wright has to sign from Moses. 1-1 pitch, and routine ground ball up to first. Jim Spencer will take it to the bag himself, unassisted. 1 down from Merv Rettenman. Rettenman hitting .322, 5 homers, 42 runs batted in for him. So Rettenman pretty much on pace as he was in the actual 1971 season. 1-0 pitch. Grounder to Alomar. Plenty of time on to Spencer for the 4-3 putout. 2 up, 2 down for Andy Etchebarren. Baltimore catcher, .271, 3 homers, 14 ribbies. Wright brings it home, full count, and Andy Etchebarren looks at a called strike 3 on a fastball. No runs, hits, or errors. Bottom of the second here in California. No score between third place teams in the American League East and West. Billy Cowan leads things off here. Cowan hitting .282, a home run, 8 runs batted in for the Angels. Cuellar into the wind, and full count. This one, Belanger ranging to his right is short. Good strong peg over there to Frank Robinson for the 6-3 putout. So 1 away now. Cuellar will face Jim Spencer, 11 homers, .241 average, 37 batted in. 1-2 pitch, and this one spanked hard out toward first base, and Frank Robinson has it and feeds on to Mike Cuellar. 2 up, 2 down for California, and here's Tommy Reynolds. Reynolds hitting just .196 with 5 runs batted in. Cuellar deals, 2-0 pitch. This one driven to center field. Paul Blair against the wall makes the grab for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 gone, no score. Thanks for joining us here tonight for, everybody coming in that has, for some 1971 action between the Orioles and the Angels. All right, it'll be Belanger, Cuellar, and Buford for the Baltimore Orioles. Belanger hitting .287, 28 runs batted in for him. Clyde Wright ready to deal. First pitch swinging, and this one, soft little liner over Spencer at first into right field. So Belanger aboard, and here's Mike Cuellar. Cuellar hitting .105. He does have 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. They're at the corners. How's the payoff pitch so far? So I haven't gotten the link yet. I haven't checked Discord tonight, so I haven't gotten anything yet from AvidRoot. But it's going to be, but it is definitely a direct game, a direct board game translation. So really looking forward to trying it out and I'll definitely be buying it. Everything I've seen, every video that I've watched on it, mainly from Baseball Maelstrom, has been just incredible. The cards look amazing. The play flow, at least as I'm watching it, looks really, really nice. And I know the buzz is real in the community, and I think it's going to be a real winner. I really, really do. All right, so Cuellar had one home run in real 1971, so already two in this season. And we're close to the halfway point. Are we? We are at the halfway point. Wright throws over. Belanger not going anywhere. Spencer in at first, McMullen at third. Wright works home. 0-1 pitch, and Cuellar gets the bunt down, and unfortunately was not a good bunt. So lead runner erased. Cuellar on and one away as we swing around to the top of the order. Don Buford grounded to second back in the first inning. One away here in the top of the third. Wright deals 1-0 pitch, and O'Brien will feed on to Alomar, and Cuellar is cut down. So two down, Don Buford on at first, and Buford looking at his numbers again, 10 steals thus far. And here's Paul Blair. Paul Blair had a two-base hit to right center first time up. Wright brings it home, 1-0 pitch, and lazy fly ball out to right field. Tommy Reynolds has it, 4 out, number 3. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the third inning here in California, and we are scoreless. Scoreless in, well, we can't say Seattle. Vipkow pitch has much more buzz than Digital Diamond and even out of the park. Well, yeah, I think so too. It's new. Digital Diamond, and of course, Out of the Park has been around now for, can you believe it, man? 27 years. This will be the 27th year of Out of the Park baseball. Yeah, I think Payoff Pitch is going to be in one of those games that's, it's going to really bring a lot of cards and dice guys who never thought they would try digital, to have that digital interface. It's a known quantity, Payoff Pitch, and a game that I think is much beloved by the community. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So hopefully we'll hear from Avon soon. Hopefully he hasn't forgotten me, because I'm really, really itching to try this beta and then buy it in April. We'll see which is the better option, Steam or because it's coming to Steam, which is pretty cool. Enzo, welcome in. He says, in Action PC, does the pitcher's expected pitch count decrease? Say if he has an EPC of 120, throws 20 pitches. Okay, I'm trying to say if he has an EPC of 20, throws 20 pitches today. I've never really looked closely at that to see. To be honest, I know that what will happen is that, like, in a succeeding game, let's say I would bring in a reliever that pitched the day before, he'll be pitching on short rest, and that expected pitch count does reflect that. So if I think that's what you're asking, and if so, yes, the answer is yes. So if Cuellar would I don't know, maybe a range shortened game, and I would decide, well, we're just going to start Cuellar next game or whatever. He would be pitching actually on short rest, and that expected pitch count would go down. What's important to note about the expected pitch count that in Action PC is that doesn't mean that, for instance, so Mike Cuellar, his expected pitch count is 125. It doesn't mean that when he hits pitch 126, all of a sudden he's just going to be giving up bombs or anything like that. So it's an approximation, and the game also takes into account the score and everything like that. So a lot goes into it, but I think it's a good guide. It's a good guide. You get that red that comes up there when they hit their expected pitch count. It's a nice little warning. And I love the fact that you see the expected pitch count now. You see his pitch count there with the little 24. You see it up here. And then you also see it, we'll look at Cuellar over here on the last screen. So you got expected pitch counts everywhere. All right, here's Jerry Moses. Jerry Moses hitting .254, 2 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Cuellar has a sign from Andy Etchebarren, and here's the wind. And the 0-2 pitch, smack to second. And Davy Johnson backs up and takes it on the wicked bounce onto Frank Robinson for the 4-3 putout. So one angel up, one angel down here in the bottom of the third inning. Yeah, it's a great feature. It really is. And here's Sid O'Brien. This scoreboard was one of the new way the scoreboard is done this year, and it's just incredible. And for me, I like to have the pitcher up here, his stats, and I like the batter down here. A lot of people stack them on top of each other, but I just kind of be able to like to see that difference. But the scoreboard is just incredible. It's just light years away. And of course, the one of the greatest features of Action PC Baseball is the inning summary that you can get on a box score. I do have on the line score. I do have the when you hover over this, you can get the whole box score. I have that disabled because you can always get, I can also get to the box score just by going here when I want to. So let's go ahead and get back to where we are. Here's a pitch to Sid O'Brien. And 0-2 pitch, and this one foul tip, so stays alive. 0-2 pitch. This one grounded to short. Belanger diving stop from the knees, fires on to the judge. So Belanger making his 35th great play of the season. And say what you will, Belanger was a hell of a shortstop. He really was. So, all right. Here's Clyde Wright. If I accidentally say Glenn Wright, it's because I keep getting Glenn Wright of the 1925 Pirates in my head. All right, so Clyde Wright with a 182 average and 1 run batted in on the season. Cuellar to deal to his opposite number, 0-2 pitch, and that one called strike 3. Nice little off-speed number. No runs, no hits, no errors. 3 in the books here in California. And we are scoreless. Battle of the third place teams in the American League East and American League West. Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, and Davy Johnson to bat. Brooks is 0-for-1, grounded to short in the first. 0-2 pitch, and cutting a miss. A nose one hitting the inside corner. So Brooks kind of twitched the bat a little bit, and that was it. So 1 away for Frank Robinson. He grounded to third, back in the first. Lefty right deals, swung on up the middle. Alomar behind the hill makes the play, fires a strike onto Jim Spencer for out number 2. Davy Johnson grounded first. So the power in the lineup hasn't gotten it out of the infield. 0-2 pitch, and Davy Johnson looks at a big swing and a miss on a fastball. So nothing across, and we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. No score. We have a pitcher's duel developing here. So Sandy Alomar leading things off for California. He grounded to third last time up. 1-0 pitch, fly ball, but Paul Blair had him played perfectly. 1 up, 1 down. For Ken Berry. Ken Berry whiffed against Mike Cuellar. Cuellar has hung up 2 Ks thus far tonight. 1-1 pitch, base hit into right field. Good solid stroke there by Ken Berry. He'll hold it first. Ken Berry with 3 steals, equaling what he did in all of 1971. And here's Ken McMullen now, 0-for-1. McMullen lined short, little soft liner to Mark Belanger. 2-0 pitch. And Tapper Ed, Cuellar goes to Johnson, on to Robinson. And how about that? There's a crazy little double play for you. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 4 in the books here in California. We are scoreless, so just 3 hits in this game thus far. JT Dutch says, I would say Belanger is the second best fielding shortstop of all time behind Ozzie Smith. I wouldn't argue with that at all. If we're talking in terms of pure fielding, Belanger was a hell of a defensive shortstop, JT. I think you're right. And, I think there is this tendency in baseball to like sort of favor offense, great offensive play. But, there are guys in there for their defensive prowess. And, I think that there's a case for Belanger. If we look at defense, I really, really do. Let me pop these comments out so that I can see things a little better. There we go. All right, Merv Rettenman, nothing for one. Back in the second inning, he grounded out to Sandy Alomar. Wright brings it, and he walks him on 4 straight pitches. So here we go, runner aboard for the Orioles. Thus far, for Baltimore, 0-2-0, and for California, 0-1-0. And Baltimore has stranded 2. Andy Etchebarren, nothing for 1, and he struck out back in the second inning. Hanging out at first is Merv Rettenman. 9 steals this season for Rettenman. Wright deals, and this one, fly ball out to sort of deep left. Cowan settles under it, makes the grab as Rettenman retreats to first. So 1 out now for Mark Belanger. Belanger has one of the 2 Oriole hits here. Singled back in the third. All right, Wright checks the runner. Rettenman at first. Peers in, has the sign from Jerry Moses. Throws over. Rettenman dives back. Close call there at first. Gets up, dusts himself off. Do it all over again. 3-0 pitch, and that's another walk. So another 4-pitch walk given up in the inning here, and it brings up Mike Cuellar. Infield playing in. 2-0 pitch. Cuellar bouncer to Wright. Wright is going to go to O'Brien, and they're going to get the middle runner. So runners at the corners, 2 down. Nice little heads-up play there by Wright. Knew he wasn't going to get Rettenman at third. So Cuellar at first, Rettenman at third. Cuellar twice now has not gotten the sacrifice done. Don Buford now, we're back at the top of the order for the O's, and he has grounded out twice in this game. First time either team has had anybody at third. From the stretch, Wright works. 1-1 pitch, this one foul tip. Buford stays alive to see another one. 1-2 pitch. Buford swings, line drive, base hit right field. Reynolds up with it. Rettenman will come in to score. Baltimore draws first blood. It's 1-0 here in the top of the 5th. 2 down for Paul Blair. Paul Blair 1 for 2. A great center fielder, Paul Blair. 0-1 pitch, and he absolutely clubs this one off the wall. Cowan plays it. Cuellar comes in to score. Buford will score, and here come the O's. 3-0. Second double for Paul Blair today, and his 15th on the season. I'm a big Paul Blair fan. Just huge Paul Blair fan. And in every sim I play him in, he just excels. Out of the park baseball, this one, just all of them. Paul Blair is just amazing. Brooks Robinson has grounded out and struck out. Brooks sitting at 11 home runs right now. Wright deals. 0-1 pitch. This one tapped foul along the third base side. McMullen will retrieve it, toss it into the stands. Brooks back in the box. 0-2 pitch, and this one gets by Moses. Wild pitch by Clyde Wright, and Paul Blair will scoot on to third base. Wright in a little bit of trouble here. Touched up for 3 runs here in the 5th. From the stretch, 1-2 pitch. This one hit over short, and Blair will come in to score, and that's going to be an RBI single for Brooks Robinson, and Baltimore now leads this one 4-0. And here comes the judge, Frank Robinson. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield in 2 attempts. 0-2 pitch. This one wrapped hard to third. McMullen's going to take the exit ramp to Alomar, and that will retire the side. But the Baltimore Orioles pick up 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Bottom of the 5th in California. Baltimore leads California 4-0. All right, Billy Cowan will start things off here for the Angels in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cowan grounded to short back in the 2nd. Cuellar has the sign from Andy Etchebarren, toes the rubber, winds and deals. 1-0 pitch. This one, ground ball, base hit, right field. Rettenman up with it, fires it into Davy Johnson. So runner on for the Angels, Billy Cowan. Just 1 stolen base in 1971. So Mike Cuellar, just a little cursory glance at the runner as Jim Spencer settles into the box. Spencer 0 for 1, grounded out last time. Cuellar from the belt, and the 0-1 pitch. This one bunted foul, first base side. Cuellar to wind it up again, and 0-2 pitch, and liner out there to Rettenmund. Great grab there. Nice catch by Merv Rettenmund. So getting back to first is Billy Cowan. Cowan. And here's Tommy Reynolds. Gave it a ride to deep left center. A light bat for Tommy Reynolds, but almost got it out of here last time up. Cuellar comes home with it. 1-2 pitch. Belanger takes to Johnson and on to Robinson for the 6-4-3 inning ending double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left. 5 in the books here in California. Baltimore 4 and California nada nunca. California looking to gain some ground on the Oakland A's, and Baltimore looking to put some heat on the Detroit Tigers. All right, checking in from Bangkok. Unifix, how you doing? Hope all is well. And back to you, my friend. Hopefully everything is doing well there. Going well there. I want to come to Thailand someday. I know I love Thai food, but you know, I'm just convinced that even though we've got great Thai restaurants over the place here, I want to have the real thing in Thailand. Nice hot curry and nice and hot. There you go. As it should be. Man, you're so glad. It's so nice you guys don't have to deal with snow. I know you got to deal with monsoons and stuff like that. That's no fun, but Davey Johnson, leading things off here, struck out his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Great vegetarian food there, and I'm all about it being a vegetarian. Another reason why I want to go and just chow down on some good, authentic Thai food. And it doesn't, I'm talking like good street food, man. Love it. All right, Clyde Wright deals 0-2 pitch, and Davey Johnson looks like he chased one out of the zone. So Clyde Wright picking up his 4th strikeout, looking to settle down after a rather rocky 5th inning in which he gave up 4 runs, including 2 4-pitch walks, by the way. All right, Rettenmund is 0 for 1 with the walks. That walk came back in the 5th inning. Clyde Wright deals, and Clyde Wright loses him again. That is the third 3-0 walk issued by Clyde Wright. And the Etchebarren is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. 1-0 pitch. Tapper back to the mound. Right to Alomar. To Spencer. 1-6-3. Double play. So no runs, no hits, no errors. And we played 5.5. The Orioles lead the Angels 4-0. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Angels will start it off here with Jerry Moses. Jerry Moses, 0 for 1. Grounded out to Davey Johnson. 0-1 pitch. Wrapped to first, and Frank Robinson feeds it on to Mike Cuellar, covering for the 3-1 putout. So 1 up, 1 down for Sid O'Brien. Grounded to Mark Belanger. Back in the 3rd. Cuellar brings it home. Count even, 2-2. Routine bouncer, and Frank Robinson would take the easy hop and accompany the ball to the bag himself. 2 down now for Clyde Wright. Struck out back in the 3rd. Cuellar deals, and this one hits sharply to short. Belanger, nice range there, getting to that ball quickly. Quick inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. 6 gone here in California. Baltimore with a 4-0 lead. The Belanger, Cuellar, and Buford due up for the Orioles. A balmy 52 degrees over there. Yeah, so tomorrow we're supposed to hit 52. We're going to hit 70 by the weekend, which would be really cool. I think Friday it's supposed to be like 71 here. We'll take it, JT. We had a few days here with wind chills. It was 22 below 0 Fahrenheit, and that just sucks. That's a day that's so cold. The sun really has no, effect on the weather. We know in the Commonwealth here that winter's not over yet, but you know what? I'll take 3-4 days of some decent weather. And tell you what, brother, 52 is going to feel real nice. This morning we had a little bit of freezing rain. That was no fun. Just a little glazing, but still something that certainly our friend Unifix in Bangkok never has to deal with. And you don't have to deal with it either. So I know in your part of California a couple weeks ago, you guys had some serious wind and like way above average temperatures for the time of year. All right, Belanger 1-for-1 and a walk. Right deals, 2-0 pitch, and just a little slow tapper. And Jim Spencer will take it to the bag himself. One away now for Mike Cuellar. So Cuellar, 2 failed sacrifice attempts. Right deals, 2-2 pitch, and this time just a good old-fashioned called strike 3 and a fastball by Clyde Wright. So Clyde Wright, 85 pitches now, and except for that rather blotchy fifth inning, he had pitched a fine ball game. So and he's not due up for a long time, so we'll see what how long he will be in there. There's Don Buford now back at the top of the order. RBI that scored Merv Retman back in the 5th. Wright brings it home. 0-1 pitch, and this one slashed into right field. Tommy Reynolds up with it quickly and hits Sandy Alomar. So a runner aboard, 2 down now for Paul Blair. Paul Blair having a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3, and last time up had an RBI double, 2 RBI double that scored Mike Cuellar and Don Buford. So Blair, if the Orioles hold on, should be in line for player of the game. Right deals. Oh, throw down, and Buford. Let me see. What do we got? So Buford just gets back. So good play there by Jerry Moses. Almost caught Don Buford napping at first. All right, 2 away. And Paul Blair spanks this one to short. O'Brien will fire a strike to Jim Spencer. And that does it for the Orioles. Middle of the 7th, 4-0 in favor of Baltimore. And we are back. Good evening to you, John. How you doing? John DFW joining us in here. So Unifix says it does get cold in northern Thailand near Myanmar. It can get to 40 degrees, but that's rare. I would imagine. So 40 degrees in Thailand would probably feel like 5 here. So yeah, rare. And it's living in Europe and in the countries I lived in, like north of say New York City in terms of latitude, but warm because of that nice Gulf Stream. So if I was still over in the Netherlands, for example, right now, because the crocuses are starting to come up here in PA, but in Holland now the daffodils are coming up. The crocuses are already up in full bloom. And I remember sitting out in the back garden reading in February, and get back here to PA, which is south of, latitude-wise. But again, it's not just latitude, but still south of Rotterdam. And, it's cold. All right, Sandy Alomar here. We'll start off the festivities in the bottom of the 7th for California. California needs to get to work right now as Mike Cuellar working on a 2-hit shutout. So 0 for 2 for him, a ground out, and he has flown out. Cuellar brings it, 0-1 pitch, and this one is going to go foul just over the dugout roof. 0-2 on the way. Alomar, this one a changeup just in the strike zone. So Cuellar picks up his 3rd strikeout of the game. 1 away now for Ken Berry. 1 for 2 with a single. Cuellar deals. 0-2 pitch. Bounder to Belanger. Not too much is going to get past him. Close play at first. Good stretch there by Frank Robinson, keeping his spikes on the bag for out number 2. All right, Ken McMullen is 0 for 2 and grounded in to a 1-6-3 double play last time. 0-2 pitch, Tapper to the mound, Cuellar to Robinson, and that's all she wrote for the Angels. We go to the top of the 8th. Baltimore leads California 4-0. Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson, Davy Johnson due up. RBI single for Brooks last time up. Scored Paul Blair, giving Baltimore its 4th run back in the 5th. Wright brings it home. 2-1 pitch. This one wrapped deep to left, and Cowan can only look up and say, open the window, Aunt Minnie. Brooks Robinson with his 12th home run of the season. 338-foot shot, and not that Baltimore needed it, but they picked up a little bit of insurance here. It is now 5-0. Frank Robinson, nothing in 3 tries. Has not gotten the ball out of the infield for this fearsome hitter. 1-2 pitch, and that will be the same. Hard wrapper there to third, but McMullen fires a BB to Spencer for the 5-3 putout. So one away. Davy Johnson 0 for 3. He's whiffed twice. Wright deals. Oh, no, he's whiffed 3 times. So 0 for 4 for Davy. 2 down for Merv Rettenman now. Rettenman, nothing for 1. He's walked twice and scored. 1-0 pitch, Tapper to the right of the mound, and Wright fires on to Spencer for the 1-3 putout. That does it for the Orioles in the 8th, but they pick up a run on the solo shot by Brooks Robinson. And bottom of the 8th we go, and here we go. California running out of time. They're going to lose a little bit of ground here. Billy Cowan leads things off. So Cowan singled his last time, so he's 1 for 2. Echeverria sets up just a little bit outside. Cuellar pitching just an efficient, great game, a 2-hitter right now. 1-0 pitch up the middle, but Davy Johnson, great range, but off-balance throw, not in time. And Billy Cowan is going to get on there with a single. So very strong up the middle here, these Baltimore Orioles. In fact, this infield is crazy, as a matter of fact. Of course, we know about the great Brooks Robinson. But Belanger and Johnson, very strong up the middle. And, of course, you got Paul Blair out there with tons of range. Again, what does Tony La Russa always talked about, really important to be strong up the middle defensively. All right, here's Jim Spencer now. So Cowan on at first. Again, not a threat to steal. Jim Spencer, he is grounded out, and he has lined out. 1-1 pitch. This one tagged, and this one is out of here. Jim Spencer with a 2-run shot, and just like that, the California Angels are now in the game. It is 5-2. The faithful here in Anaheim hoping it's not too little too late as Tommy Reynolds settles in the box wearing his Kansas City Athletics livery. Tommy has flown out and grounded into a double play. Cuellar brings it home. 0-1 pitch, and this one, hard ground ball into right field. Now the Angels have decided to bring their bats, and here's Jerry Moses. He is nothing for 2. Nobody out. Moses has grounded out twice in this game. 2-0 pitch, popped up to shoot behind the plate. Andy Echeverria tosses aside the mask, makes the grab. So 1 away now for Sid O'Brien. Grounded out twice in the game. 0-1 pitch, and liner passed short into left field. Tommy Reynolds thought about third, but they're holding up the stop sign. So California mounting a threat here in the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 on and 1 down. And Clyde Wright, I don't think he's going to be hitting for himself. He will not. He will not. Cuellar deals, and the bases are loaded. Tony Canigliaro, Tony C. All right, here's Sandy Alomar now. Serious threat being posed here by the California Angels. With 1 down, Cuellar looking for a double play ball. Alomar has grounded out, flown out, and struck out. Cuellar works out of the stretch, and the 1-1 pitch. This one grounded to third. Robinson, Johnson. There will not be a pivot, though, or late throw, I should say. Tommy Reynolds will come in to score the 3rd Angels run. Game getting exciting now. It is 5-3. Runners at the corners, 2 away for Ken Berry. Ken Berry is 1 for 3, had a single back in the 4th. Cuellar still out of the stretch, 1-2 pitch, base hit into left field. O'Brien will score. Berry picking up the RBI single, and here come the Angels. It's 5-4. So the Angels have been pouring it on lately. Their record at 49-44. Baltimore at 52-36. Here's Ken McMullen looking to try to keep this little rally going. He is lined to short, and he's grounded into a double play. And also grounded back to Cuellar. 0-2 pitch, fly ball. This one out in the gap, above and over Blair's head. Alomar will score to tie the game. Berry will come around to score. McMullen comes through clutch with a 2 RBI double, and the California Angels take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Or I'm sorry, tie it up here in the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-6 or 6-5. They do take the lead. I'm sorry. Mea culpa. Earl Weaver's asleep in the dugout. Grinch or someone had better get him up. How about it? John says, we got a ball game. We do got a ball game. So California leading 6 here in the 8th. And I mean, I was ready to count these guys out. Coming into this home half of the 8th inning, Baltimore had a pretty fight. And I even said on the Brooks Robinson home run as if they needed it. Well, California now ahead 6-5. All right, Billy Cowan. And I mean, the Angels doing it up here with 2 outs. Infield single last time for Billy Cowan. He is 2 for 3. And I think Earl Weaver, I don't know if he's waiting for Cuellar, whatever, but let's look at Cuellar. Let's go to make a mound visit, see what Mike Cuellar's feeling. Cuellar says, I'm strong, Skip. I can get this last out. Cuellar due up 3rd when we go to the Baltimore 9th. And the Angels have indeed batted around. Thank you, JT. I appreciate you for reminding me of that, and that is true. So, hell of an inning for the California Angels. Oakland watching as Oakland will be facing Detroit after this game. Cowan swings up the middle. Davey Johnson, good play there, flashing the leather. And that does it for the California Angels. But 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors. And as JT says, California batted around. Lloyd Allen will now come on for the California Angels here in the 9th, looking to get a save. 6-5 your score, and it will be the 7, 8, and 9 due up in the Baltimore Order. Andy Etchebarren, Mark Belanger, and Mike Cuellar. Action PC does a lousy job with Hook's bullpen management. It does have its issues, that's for sure. All right, Andy Etchebarren is 0 for 3, grounded into a double play back in the 6th. Allen deals 1-1 pitch. Spencer takes it on the hop. 1 away. So California 2 outs away from gaining some ground on the Oakland A's. Here's Mark Belanger. Belanger 1 for 2. So we're going to have to think of who we might have as MVP for the California Angels should this lead hold. Lloyd Allen, by the way, with 15 saves this year, 4 wins, 2 losses, a 2.66 earned run average. He's worked 50 2/3 innings. He's given up 2 taters. 2-1 pitch, and not yet. Hard ground ball into right. Belanger makes the turn at first and holds. Yeah, unless their bullpen is tired. Yeah. Cuellar's not going to be hitting for himself. I just don't see that happening. And it's Chopay coming in, and McMullen will go to Alomar, but Belanger breaking up the double play. So Tom Chopay comes on, and they're down to Don Buford. 2 for 4. What an amazing win this would be for the California Angels. All right, Lloyd Allen rubbing up the ball, has the sign from Jerry Moses from the belt. Full count, and he loses Don Buford. The tying run is at second, the go-ahead run at first for the Baltimore Orioles. And Paul Blair, 2 for 4, including a 2 RBI double back in that big 5th inning for Baltimore. Allen brings it home, the 1-2 pitch, and Paul Blair Swing and a miss on a fastball, and the California Angels snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Let's look at it. So, for the California Angels, they improved to 50 wins, 44 losses, 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. For the Baltimore Orioles, they fall to 52 and 37, 5 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Mike Cuellar falls to 9 and 9, and Clyde Wright improves to 13 and 3. Highlights: Baltimore had all the highlights in a losing cause. Brooks Robinson with 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 runs batted in. Paul Blair 2 for 5 with 2 runs batted in. Don Buford went 2 for 4 in the day. Jim Spencer 1 for 3 with that 2-run homer. So let's look at pitching here. No triples in the damn game, and just that 1 home run, or 2 home runs, 1 by Brooks Robinson, 1 by Jim Spencer. Have a look at pitching here. Mike Cuellar went 8 innings, 6 runs, all earned, 1 home run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Clyde Wright worked 8 innings, 5 earned runs, gave up a home run, walked 3, struck out 6. Allen comes on, gets the save, his 16th, worked an inning in relief, walked 1 and struck out 1. And your player of the game is Jim Spencer. Well deserved. All right, cool. Let's auto play some games here quickly. Yep, and you got it right, JT. Spencer gets it. All right, this is a big, important game, but the last time we did 1971, we did do Detroit and Oakland, so we'll probably just auto play this one. Looking at the standings before we finish this day in the National League West, the Atlanta Braves with a 6.5 game lead on Houston, and San Francisco starting to come on now, finally. They're 8 out, and we are, July 16th. In the National League East, the Pittsburgh Pirates have maintained their lead. They've never dropped out of first place. Right now, a 5-game lead on the New York Mets, and everybody else pretty much out of the race. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics 2 games up on the Chicago White Sox and 4 on the California Angels. And really, Kansas City just 8.5 out, and Minnesota 9 out. The only one really gone in the American League West is the Milwaukee Brewers, or are the Milwaukee Brewers. And finally, in the American League East, with the best record of baseball, the Detroit Tigers at 60 and 28 have a 6.5 game lead on the New York Yankees and an 8.5 game advantage over the Baltimore Orioles. Everybody else pretty much stinking up things: Boston, Cleveland, and Washington. All right, let's go here with Philadelphia Phillies and Chicago Cubs. Short versus Jenkins would be a good game just for the matchup. Fergie at 11 and 7. Chris Short, a rather disappointing 4 and 9, but here we go. Wow, and what a slugfest this one. The Chicago Cubs defeat the Philadelphia Phillies 16 to 10. Decker with the win, Brandon with the loss. Glenn Beckert goes 5 for 6 with 3 runs batted in. Let's have a quick look at the box score. So for the Phillies, Tim McCarver went 2 for 4 with a triple. Doyle 3 for 5 with 2 RBI. Johnson 1 for 5, home run, 2 runs batted in. For the Cubos, Billy Williams 3 for 5, including a stolen base. Joe Pepitone 3 for 5, 2 runs batted in. Glenn Beckert 5 for 6, 3 RBI. What a messy game this one was. So the winning pitcher still has a losing record, and the losing pitcher, of course, a losing record. So, wow. I mean, just Chicago, just both these teams went crazy. Just crazy. So you got, who was the MVP of this one? Wow. Pretty crazy, man. Glenn Beckert, yep. And Don Kessinger. So this would have been fun, but these kinds of games, good Lord. So 36 hits in this game, 26 runs, and 2 errors. This one played at Wrigley. Wow. All right. Moving on, the Minnesota Twins and the Boston Red Sox. Blyleven versus Siebert. And Minnesota edges Boston 5-4. Blyleven with the win. Bolin with the loss. And the killer goes 4 for 5 with a double. Chicago White Sox in contention playing against last place Washington. This is John versus Broberg. So Tommy John looking for a win here. Tommy John at 6-8 with a 2.23 earned run average. JT says the Bears beat the Eagles 16-10. There you go. And this time, this one goes to the Senators 6-3. Grisenda gets the win. Tommy John falls to 6-9, and Paul Lindblad gets the save. Cleveland Indians, Kansas City Royals. Again, a game that doesn't really mean much of anything, but we got to play them out. Cleveland one ups Kansas City 3-2 in 11 innings. When Gorey gets the win, Abernathy with the loss. Chris Chambliss goes 4 for 5, and he had a triple. San Francisco and Cincinnati, Perry versus Nolan. This would be a really fun one to actually play out, but we're just going to auto it. And Cincinnati blanks San Francisco 3-0. Nolan with the win. Perry takes the loss. Tony Perez goes 1 for 3, hits his 12th home run. Milwaukee Brewers, New York Yankees, Patton versus Bonson. New York in contention, just 6.5 back. And New York beats Milwaukee 4-2. Bonson with the win, Patton with the loss. Harper goes 1 for 3 with a triple and a walk. New York Mets and the Houston Astros, both teams still in the race. The Pittsburgh Pirates watching this game with great interest. And the Houston Astros were down the New York Mets 8-7. Culver with the win, Frizzella with the loss. And none other than Mr. Aspromonte. Paisan goes 3 for 3 with 5 runs batted in, including a double. We're going to hold off in Detroit and Oakland. We'll go to Pittsburgh and San Diego. Arlen versus Johnson. And San Diego takes another game from the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's 8-5. Arlen with the win, Johnson with the loss. In a losing cause, Richie Hebner goes 2 for 4 and hits his 13th home run. Los Angeles Dodgers, Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves holding that top spot in the National League West. Sutton versus Negro, another great matchup there. And Atlanta blanks Los Angeles 4-0. Negro with the win, Sutton with the loss. Hammer and Hank Aaron goes 3 for 4, hits his 30th home run, 2 runs batted in. Cardinals Expos, Renko versus Cleveland. Again, the best these two teams maybe can do is play spoiler at some point. 17-7. Holy for holies. Reggie Cleveland with the win, Renko with the loss. And Torrey goes 4 for 6, 17th home run, 3 runs batted in. And finally, the big game of the day, the Oakland A's hosting the Detroit Tigers. And here we go. And this one is going to be Oakland over Detroit. 5-3. Vita Blue gets the win. Les King gets the loss. Sal Bando hits his 20th home run. All right. So we're going to go ahead and play this out until July 23rd. Let's do it. Dodgers are sucking my replay. Yeah, they're... And so are the Giants are underperforming. But yeah, the Dodgers are not doing so well. So... races. So the New York Mets gaining. Well, they did gain now, but Pittsburgh just holding on to anywhere from a 3.5 to 5 game lead on the Mets. Oakland and Detroit still sitting atop the American League. It's that National League West that is kind of interesting right now going on. But yeah, Dodgers not doing so well. Moving up now, Dodgers a game above 500, 9.5 out, 8.5 out. And everything has been played. All right. So Atlanta, 6 games in front of the Houston Astros, 6.5 up on the Giants, and 8.5 up on the Dodgers, who are now 2 games over 500. Pittsburgh Pirates, 3.5 games up on the Mets. In the American League West, the Oakland A's just 3 games ahead of the White Sox, 7 ahead of California, 9.5 up on Minnesota. Just including Minnesota because they're so just, a single digit out. But Minnesota fading out. So Oakland, Chicago, and California, a bit of a dogfight. And finally, in the American League East, Detroit, again, just not relinquishing that lead. 4 games up on the Yankees and 7.5 up on Baltimore. And the other 3 are showing up to play baseball pretty much. Yeah, Reds down into last place. let me see. Anything else cool that we want to look at here before we jump out? So games. Let me see. We can look at game recaps. I'm just looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for here. So you can get all these game recaps, as you guys know. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something else. Let's go back to reports, league. This is where Action PC gets really, it starts getting really, really deep. So, top performances by players. Let's look at this. Let's see what's going on here. All right, bring this over so you guys can see it. There we go. So let me see. So we got a lot of guys with 5 hits in a game. I'll let you guys just look at this for a second. Just trying to look for anything that's really going to stand out. So we have a number of guys here that with multiple home runs, 3 home runs in a game, and this is the text file, so we can't look at it that way. Hank Aaron in a game against Montreal scored 6 runs. Bill Freehan for Detroit had 8 RBI in a game against the Minnesota Twins on June 11th. What else really kind of strikes out here? So Don Clendenin and Enrico Petrocelli each struck out 5 times in games they played back in May. Bobby Bonds, there's had a lot of guys here doing 3 stolen bases a game. Bonds, Campaneris, Harper, Otis, and Patek. Jay Johnstone with a 3 homer. Yeah, I know, right? You don't think of Jay Johnstone doing that, right? Let me see. What else do we got here? Dick Drago allowed 21 hits in a game against Kansas City back in May in our project. 21 hits. We should go find that game. Oh my God, fun stuff. Luis Tiant fanned 15 in a game against the Senators in June. So just a lot of fun, a lot of different ways that you can look at what's going on in any sort of project that you're doing in Action PC, including the ubiquitous leaderboards right now. We're just going to cut straight to awards. So if the awards were given out today, Joe Torre would be the MVP for the National League, and the Cy Young Award in the National League would go to Don Wilson. In the American League, Bobby Mercer would be MVP, and the Cy Young would go to Vita Blue. So that's kind of where we are, and you guys can see all the league leaders and stuff like that. And then, of course, you can do custom reports, which I'll probably do more once this project is over. Well, not once this is over and we legacy on into 1972. So that's it. That is it. That is it. So yeah, I should have remembered the name of that. Yeah, I know you got. I know because Joe Torre MVP that year. I'm surprised I don't have a Joe Torre pick. Let me see. Let me go. Let me go to the Cardinals here and let me see if I can. I've got to have one somewhere. That would be really bizarre that I don't. So let's go to. Yeah, that's the wrong modified teams. Blah. Players. I think I just bring them up this way. I know that's sad, right? That's very, very bad. It's not in here. I don't want to do this. Let's go out of this. And my God. I so because I so rarely do this. This is so bad. I know it's in rosters. Yeah, roster tools, baby. Roster tools. But because it's just it blows my mind that I don't have, because I have Joe Torre and now the Park Baseball, and I think I'm using the same photo set, man. So that's what's got me confuzzled, brother. That's what's got me confuzzled. There we go. Roster tools. Thank you. Let's look at player photos and let's find Joe Torre. So there is a Joe Torre. There's a couple Joe Torres here. There we go. There we go. He's looking better now. He looks better as an Atlanta Brave. He looks like looks a little scary there in that picture. Let's see. So, all right, that's kind of a wacky picture for Joe Torre. Let's use that one. Why not? Check out those sideburns, man. There. All better now. So sometimes Action PC will do that. Another thing that Action PC Baseball loves to do, like if I'm playing like with the original Slide and Billy Hamilton, it always defaults to the modern players with the same name. So I always know I have to change Billy Hamilton's picture all the time in this game. This is crazy. Posing for Vogue magazine in that last photo, right? He's like, "Hey, baby, yeah, right." Shit, Joe Torre got it going on. I'm a baseball player. Anyhow, having a lot of fun with this. I'm kind of taking this slowly. I do want to, we are going to get into to see how legacy mode works firsthand. I've only heard stories, and they were pretty cool. So this pretty much is Action PC incorporating a wee bit, if you will, of Out of the Park baseball. So anybody doing any cool projects, man? What are you guys up to? What are you guys doing? Anything at all? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Hopefully we'll have Crash Davis on Saturday nightish. Oh man, thanks you, brother, for coming in. Again, we got to get you on here. I think it's a Monday night that works well for you, to Sunday or Monday night, whatever, to talk a little bit of whatever we want to talk about. So I hope you can come in some night, man. I know you're on kind of a sabbatical right now, so maybe we get you on here sooner, whenever you want, really. Um, but so much. So you're messing with Pocket Pennant Runs Commissioner HQ. How are you doing with the JT? There's a lot really going on in that that Paul Fay created. Um, it's really a wonderful piece of software. So a lot going on, but really really good stuff. And I know that Paul has a lot more planned for it. Tomorrow, Thursday night, would be fine. All right, cool. Let's shoot for Thursday. Let's shoot for Thursday night, and let's get you on here. Yeah, it is cool, and the fact, I mean, it's free too. I mean, Paul's such a generous guy. Again, when you would ask that question in the comments, and I said, "Geez, JT, I don't know. I have to get with Paul." Uh, the video was there like the next day. He said, "Here you go." So, I really really like it a lot. Um, and the fact that it's so easy to just manage multiple projects, I think is really a big selling point for it. So, I mean, while these digital games track all kinds of things, to be able to just click, click, boom, oh, okay, now I'm in this project and just keep rolling is really nice. So, you only bought the cards to get the free software for life. Nothing wrong with that. That's card stock is pretty nice though. But it's like all pristine and put away. But the Pocket Pennant Run manager really, really, really gets a workout. So yeah, these recent games, if you play Action PC Baseball, these are really, really nice to just kind of check these out. So any one of these that you click on, you're right there at the box score, which is super cool. Um, this is such an excellent baseball game. It really, really is. Just gotta love it. Thank you, Dave Cook, for this amazing bit of kit here. How about it? All right, I think we are done. So I want to thank everybody for coming. This is good card stock. Your days of cards and dice are over. Absolutely no shade to those who do play cards and dice. No, I don't think anybody's going to feel that way at all, JT. Um, I want to jump back into it every once in a while. It's not something I'm ever going to do on here, but it'd be fun to just like in the summertime. I've told you guys this a couple times. There was a game that ID Jester showed back in 2019, and it's really a nice baseball game too. But Jester didn't like it because it wasn't seasons. This guy created it with something like 4 or 5 thousand, good to Hall of Fame players, and you just kind of just think of it as almost playing it like Diamond Mines All Time Great Players Volumes 1 and 2, but as a board game. And so, I could see myself sitting out in the back patio on a Sunday or Monday, and it's like a nice 75, 80 degrees, and rolling it up with with some Guinness out there or something like that. But it's sitting here, and, Pocket Pennant Run and Baseball Strat Max, they give me my cards and dice, so I'm fine with that. It's fun with that. I don't know that I have the patience because I want to be able to just skip around and do different things. But you know, it's not that one is better than the other. It's what works best for you. You play what you love. So JT, brother, thank you for coming in. Hopefully we get together, talk a little bit Thursday night. So JT Dutch joining us here. Again, his wonderful testimonial about Bill Mazeroski. So meaningful. It's good stuff. John DFW, thank you, my friend. Unifix, coming all the way in here from Bangkok. Enzo the Picker. Samuel Smith. Samuel's been kind. He hasn't been trying to make me spend money, which is really nice for a change because I have none to spend. All right. Until Borgata, until the next time, we'll see everybody around the batting cage. Good night, and thank you for joining me. This was really fun.